Alright, I'm going to try and recreate this simple car rig. Pretty effective. Will work for all kinds of scenarios. I have it following a spline here. I'll try and go over some of the problems I ran into. So first off, what do I have? Pretty simple. I got some weights. Wish these windows would save my settings. Alright, so I got the weights on the wheels, the body. Oops. And that's pretty much it. Super simple geometry. Put a little bumper up here so I know where the front is. Alright. And yeah, just have it ray tracing these little nulls with item shapes on it. So let's go ahead and try and rebuild this real quick. I'm just going to keep going back to that scene to see what I did. So, got the reflection turned way up on my bumper. So what do I want to do? I want to hide these lights out of my way. First thing I want to do, I guess, is make a null. Call it master. I'm gonna give it an item shape. A ring. A smaller ring. Going for a red ring. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna make my raycast rings red, so how about I go green on this one. And I'll just leave that there for now. Go ahead and throw in a bone. A COG bone. Reduce the size of this to like 6 inches. I'm going to create a bone called let's go with I'm trying to remember what I called it over here. The wheels frame bone. Yeah, there we go. Wheels frame. Alright, and go ahead and move this back. Just put it up here. 1 foot. I turned my auto key key create off so I don't accidentally move anything and not know about it. It messes with your rig. Alright, so go back to this bone. Oh no, maybe will that be this one? I'm gonna call this one front, left, control. That sounds good. Now, control arms typically pivot from underneath the axle a few inches. And between the center of the vehicle and the side of the vehicle, about halfway, somewhere in here, it will pivot. It's a swinging arm, so I don't know how many people know about cars, but I'm just kind of winging it here. Over 10 inches. Check it from the side. I'm going to a front face view. Control A centers whatever is selected. That's pretty close. I'll go for that. And then, let's see, I need to rotate it 90 degrees. I need to make it longer, 11 inches. Alright. So I do this because the way it travels, that's actually what they call it, is travel, makes it the end piece of this axle isn't directly going up and down. It's actually got a bit of a curvature to it as it comes inward. So it travels, it moves more like on a real car, because that's how cars work. They got a control arm and there's travel. So I'm just emulating that with this rig. Go ahead and call this front lift ball joint. I'm going to do a 90 degree minus 90 degree. Go ahead and shorten this up. Should be right at the center of the axle here. Go for 4 inches, I guess. Looks pretty good. Go ahead and make another bone. Call it axle. Now this bone, you could call it caliper if you wanted to, because this is the bone. If you're going to have a caliper in there, this bone is the one you would want to attach the weight map of the caliper to, so that it will, oops, so that it will only rotate the caliper while it's steering, but not rotate the caliper to the motion of the tire spinning around. So you'll see here in just a second what I'm talking about. Go ahead and shorten this bone down to 2 inches. No, maybe 1 inch. 1.5 inches. I want it close to the back of the car here, but it doesn't have to be exact. Back of the wheel, I meant to say. No, this is fine. And I'll make another one. I'm just going to leave it the same, so axle 1 and axle 2. Inches will work. So these have gimbal lock on them. Or the first one had gimbal lock on it. I don't think it really matters for this rig. Let me see. Oh yeah, it will definitely matter. So let me get rid of the gimbal lock real quick. So Control P on each bone. And I'm not resting them yet because we got to go ahead and make the rest of the rig and then I'll start resting bones. Okay, so yeah, so this bone here will be the wheel rotation bone. And this bone will be, it will need your pitch for the angular adjustment for the whole rig, but that's going to be controlled by the inverse kinematics. This will be actually your steering, and if you had a caliper in here, it would move the caliper with the wheel and keep it where it's at. So that's why you would attach the weight map of the caliper to this bone. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish building this out. These bones will only move on these axes. Alright, so I'm going to copy hierarchy, replace string, front with back, and I'm going to remove the minus sign from this Z and keyframe it into place. If it looks easy, if it looks good. That looks pretty good. Everything's already named. It's good to go. So now I'm going to mirror the hierarchy instead of copy it. Do the same thing, except for instead of left, I'm going right. Let's see how this looks. Looks like it's all lined up still. Real good. And I'm just going to mirror this one also. Left and to right. Alright, so let me go ahead and turn off all these extra accesses that I don't want to see. Helps just keep things clear in my head what I'm doing and what and where. And I want to turn off all the scale and position stuff for these. Go ahead and save. I'm going to save it next to my first one that I have over here. That's fully working. Alright, so I need raycasters and some goals for the IK. So let's go ahead and do a refresher here and see what my goals are parented to. The actual car, and my raycaster is parented to the car master, which I have not parented this to yet. So let's do the nulls for the IK. We'll call it front left goal. Let's put this next here. Under. Appear to be. It's a 2.6. Looks pretty good. .9. 1 foot exactly. I don't know why it keeps jumping there. Alright. So, that looks like it's in a good position there. Let's go ahead and make a copy, Control C, or clone, whatever you want to call it. Rename it to backlift goal. Remove the dependency. Alright, and move the minus sign. It looks like it's in there good. Make another copy. Call this one height. Remove the 2. Put a minus sign here. Looks pretty good. Copy. Rename. And do the same. Minus sign. Alright, so make that null for the raycaster. Call it front left raycaster. Put it at the bottom of the front left tire. Right in the middle. Roughly. Looks pretty good. Go ahead and save. Clone it. Rename it. Move it. Looks pretty good. Clone it. I know, repetitive, very repetitive. Repetition. Right, raycaster. Go ahead and move it. Clone it. Rename it. Move it. Alright, I probably should have put my item shape on it, but I'll just copy it. So I like the ring. Inches. I want to be able to see it pretty good. This one is red. And selected color should be, let's go pink. Copy this. Paste it on all other ones. Save again. Alright, so I'm just checking. Everything looks like it should. Go ahead and start the IK, which is not in properties, it's in the motions. So pitch control IK, pitch control IK. This one should be a goal object, front left goal, match goal orientation. And something else I should have done real quick. Properties, bone weight map, front left wheel. Oh, I don't have the bones active yet. Go ahead and do this real quick. Back right, back left wheel. Back right wheel. Front right wheel. Okay, I'm just gonna right click on this COG. Make sure everything's where it's supposed to be and hit rest. There we go. Now my tire looks messed up. As it should, because it's now matching the orientation of the goal. Because of the caliper bone. So let's fix that goal. Front left goal. Rotation. Is it 90 or minus 90? 90. Oh shit, I'm on the wrong frame. Keyframe. So let's go back to 0. 90. Keyframe. I didn't keyframe anything else in the wrong spot, did I? Alright, so now when I move this bone up and down, there we go. And I'm actually going to give this the body weight map. So now things are still a little weird because I need to turn the strength of these bones down to 0. Should do that on all these. To 0. Now if you're going to use this bone for a caliper, you would have to have that strength turned up still. But I don't have one, so pretty good. Rotates pretty good. Let's go ahead and do the rest of these. Motion options. Inverse kinematics. I think it's kinematics. I say kinematics. I'm from Iowa. We don't say some things correctly. Match goal orientation. Oh, no, that's the bone. I'll do it to the goal. 90. Rotating. Moving correctly. Moving right along. minus 90 on this side. Alright, so everything looks good. Except for now it's not attached to these raycasters yet. So I want to turn all this stuff off on the raycasters. Save. Alright. Nodal motion. That's what we're looking for. And raycast. Raycast geometry is what we're looking for. Intersect the position of, oh, you know what we're going to want. It's kind of important, is some sort of ground. So, just real quick, because I built this bumpy ground. I'm going to import it, but let me show you how I made it real quick. I just created a box. Mine was 100 by 100. Centered at 0 with 100 by 100. Segments. And then I threw a texture on it, but before I threw a texture on it, I went to my move tool, which is T, but it's right there. And I use a texture, procedural texture. Yeah, default settings is fine. And I come down here and I hold Control down and then pull up on it. And I only want to pull up about 6 inches because the bumps, it's like if you look at my car, it should be 8 feet long. And the tires should be 2 feet across, but 1 foot. So 1 foot to the center. So I think this is just not 4 foot across or something. Right? 3.5 feet across. So that's my car. That's my terrain. Basically. Go back into nodal motion. Oh. Psych. Gotta go load my terrain first. Load terrain. And I don't want to stretch it. I want to rotate it. drive starting off from over here somewhere. So I'm just going to put it at 11 feet. We'll put 12 feet. Alright, now go back to nodal motion. Select that terrain. And all these other settings should be alright. Oh, and copy. Paste that to the other ones. Alright, so let's go ahead and parent this to our car master mode. Let's see. These are parented to, yeah, car master. That's not that. So now I can parent these to car master. So if I move, maybe if I move this up 6 inches. Well, it looks to me like they're moving up and down with the train, so I need to make the wheels follow them now. Let's move this back down to 6 inch or 0 inches real quick. While I take this goal and have it position match this item. That raycaster. Use that item. There we go. I'm going ahead and move it up. Okay. That's it. That left goal. Go back left raycaster. See this item. Go ahead and move it on up. So, let's see what this does here. So I need to have it above the terrain for it. If it starts off below it, then it's not going to raycast correctly, so I need to move this 6 inches up. will make everything work, except for now. I should know this. Go reset my raycasting height real quick. Two. What happened here? It didn't stay at 6 inches. Something happened. Let's change it. So which one? Bottom one? Top one. Let me turn this terrain off. It's real hard to see. Top one. Bottom one. Bottom one. Top one. Oh, look at that. Right. COG is kind of high. I gotta drop it to 6 inches. Or not even the 6 inches, maybe 5 inches. 1/2. So I just like my control arms to look straight-ish. I gotta realize that my tires aren't exactly level right now, but this one over here looks pretty level. So I'm just going off that one, 4.5. So, Dr. Wheel Rotator, it's your turn to shine. Go to relativity. Bank axis. Wheel rotator. Let me go make sure what did I pick for the wheel rotator on this. COG. And my diameter was 1 foot, but that's the same as 1.0. Now that it was 2 feet across, but 1 foot to the center from the edge. So this should work. I'll put a little mark so you can see. got it. I have it on keyframe 0, and it doesn't do a preview if it's on frame 0 for some reason. So frame 1, there we go. Now I can move it and you can see it's rolling. Alright, let's do the same thing to these other bones. I think I just copy this. I'm gonna try it. 2 of them are gonna roll backwards, so I'll just go fix that real quick. So these 2 are rolling forward, those ones are rolling backwards. So let's go fix the right side ones real quick. Just put a minus sign in front of it. There we go. Now let's see what we got going on. Nice. Alright, so, and if you need the wheels to turn or whatever, let's see if these oh, because you gotta use the goals. There we go. And I don't need these other ones turned on. So if you wanted, you can animate all that. This is moving. It's not going to actually make it steer. That's what this is all about. We're going to need a goal, or not a goal, another null to hook this up to for steering. Let's see what I do over here. So, if I did disconnect the car master, so these raycasters are hooked up to the car master. So right. I'm gonna save first before doing this. It seems like everything's working pretty good. I'm going to parent these now to car. That looks good, except for now. This problem again. going to change the color on these two. From red to dark red. Turn this off so we can see what the goals to line up. Once again, red. Red. Not so dark red. Looks pretty good. Minus. Now be careful hitting that minus sign and try to delete it. Minus 4 inches. There we go. That straightened out the color. Back to color master. One. That looks good. Now, this works great for forward motion. The wheel rotator works really good as long as you don't turn the car around past the, as long as you don't go past this 90 degrees, like to 91 degrees. Past, yeah, just past 90 degrees, 90 point anything, just past 90 degrees, you'll see. Let's set up a spline for it to follow real quick. Go ahead and save this now. And make a null. I'm going to call it car spline null. Oops. Null. And then I'm going to make another one called, oh, let me actually put a item shape on this real quick. A little diamond. By little, I mean little. I'll make this red. Sure, why not? And then I gotta make another null, call it spline. sure what I called them over here. Let's see. Node. Just gonna call it node. Alright, now I'm going to parent it to that spline. Let me actually hide this car real quick. Make this terrain facing wireframe. So I'm going to make a few copies of this. Let's say 6. And I'm going to not move the first one, but I'll move the second one up. Keyframe it. And make it like a stop sign kind of shape here. Alright, so I want this to follow that spline, so I'm going to go and make this spline control for the spline now. Follow it. Let's make it move on the z-axis all the way over here, just before this last one. Alright, so now let's watch the behavior of this thing as it goes around. It actually looks pretty good. Oh no, I see some flipping over action going on here. Alright, so to fix that, let's go to node 1 here. And I'm going to spin it counterclockwise. Hit enter. Do that to each one counterclockwise. Hit enter. And you can see the flip in the ribbon go by as I spin it around. There it is right there. It goes. I'm doing it. I did it counterclockwise again. Each one, I've got to do it the same each time. I should be moving all those flips out of there. Alright, so back to this jobby. Let's see if it flips over this still. Looks good. Alright. Saving it. Now let's see if I hook Car Master up for this. Turn my car back on. Hit save. Can't remember if I need parent and place on for this move or not. So we're about to find out. Car spline null. No, let me turn it back off. Should have turned to match the orientation of it. So let me go ahead and rotate this. Hit save real quick. It still worked, right? Let's hope. Yeah, it still worked, right? So I'm going to make it match that orientation of that a little better there. And then parent it to it. Matches this up pretty good. Yeah, see right there. And then I'm going to match and parent it to that. Oops, where am I? And you'll see, this is the problem with that Dr. Wheel Rotator. I think I gone off over here. I did. Let me move my spline back a little bit here. Because once I go past 90 degrees here, the wheels start rolling backwards. So, Lightwave team, there needs to be something so that they'll know what to do still. Because they don't know what to do on this spline. As you can see, they're not rolling right at all. So, I mean, what I do is go in here to and turn off relativity on all these. Oops. Yeah, let's just do one at a time. And I do it the hard way, which is I'm going to like frame 10. And I'll get my rotator out here. And I kind of eyeball it. I would say 90 degrees, maybe minus 90. Oh man, that's annoying. What was it, minus 90? Say plus 90. wheel, does it look good? It looks good. So let's go in the graph editor. These channels, say offset repeat. And that fixed that. And another little thing is if you look at this, body is stable, it ain't moving at all, and it's all on a bumpy road. And there used to be this node that I would use for this right here. In the old, well, it's in the content for 2015 also, but it's in the nodes folder here. Yes, this one, convert hit normal to HPB. I'd used to use that for something like this, but it doesn't work in any of the Lightwaves past 2018, so I gotta do it the old cheesy way here, but it works. I'm going to use a COG bone. Go in here to the graph editor. Add a modifier. Noisy channel. 0.1. 0.5. Spread it out a little bit. Go ahead and copy that. And put it on the bank channel also. So now the body of the car wobbles around. Isn't that more believable? Looks pretty good. Hope you like this tutorial. Keep coming back. I'm going to keep trying to make some more. I'm going to try and simplify the bullet car rig next, and hopefully post that sometime soon. Alright, everybody have a good one.